Meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And roll call of members.
Mayor Moore.
Here.
Trustee Trombley. Here. Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Trombley.
Here.
Trustee Garrett is absent.
Ashley, excuse.
Excuse.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the floor minutes for May 10th, 2010.
Second. Any additions to the, or corrections to the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Minutes are approved. Now the presentation of petitions, communications, and notices in general, question period for members of the community. Does anybody wish to speak to the board? Okay, if not, we'll have a report from Mike Tatro, Codes Enforcement.
I got a list of properties somebody was good enough to give me a while ago. Anyway, I've been around, issued a lot of notices of violation for the grass and brush and certain other things. Most of them are complying, I would say. Some of them, people have moved from the area and they're long distances away. Some of these places are up for sale by real estate companies. I've called the real estate companies and they have no interest in cutting any of this grass. I need to know what the village wants to do with this. Are you going to move ahead and have this cut and assess it on their taxes, or do you want me to do court appearances for it?
Does anybody have any input?
I'm all for having it cut myself.
I mean, I can give you the list of names of the ones that it's not going to be cut, and you can decide what you want to do with them then. But I mean, if you want me to issue the citations, then I need to know that.
We do both.
I think we do both. After 30 days, we're allowed to contract with somebody to cut the grass and put it on tax rolls for next year.
Well, it's past 30 days because this list was generated May 11th. So all the notices went out after that. I mean, it's very close to 30 days, but it was the last
I would like to
30
see
days.
us pursue both angles of it.
I agree. I think both angles. Wait to 30 days, on day 31, cut the grass, put it on the taxes.
Okay, so
Second.
I'll generate a list and I'll give it to Larry or whoever.
Already got a couple people waiting.
Can I ask one question though?
Uh-huh.
Will that involve, if it does go to court, you're talking about going to court, if that's
Citation,
happens?
yeah.
Right.
Will that involve getting Mr. Marshall?
If they request a trial, then the village has to supply the attorney. If they just plead guilty, where there's no prosecution, I guess, for lack of better terms, then, you know, it's a simple offense that's handled in local court.
Right.
I mean, I have one now, they're requesting a trial, so, you know, this could run into some money here.
That's why we have the village attorney. Follow the laws of the village.
Okay, well, I guess the short answer is yes, we'd like to do both.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't want to, otherwise it drags on until.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to know because there are, like I said, there's a few properties that are for sale by real estate companies, and those are the ones that I probably will not be very successful in getting them cut. Other than that, that's about it. I've been busy with that.
You know, I'm glad we're on top of it this year, and we'll be able to, you know, get some of these cut before the end of the year.
Well, you have the list that I've already done, and there's about as much again that I'm going to be working on the next couple of weeks. Along with the grass, there's the brush piles is another thing which is covered in the property maintenance code. People put brush out by the road other than when you stipulate that you're going to pick it up. I mean, some of this stuff just sits there for month after month after month. I mean, I was going to go after that too, get them to pick that up. I mean, you cut around it, it ends up being a mess. So.
I agree. Anybody have any questions for me other than issue? Okay, well, I'll proceed with the mayor's report. Just one thing I wanted to mention, I know a lot of people take advantage of this, is the rabies clinic. There'll be one Thursday, July 8th, from 6 to 8:30 p.m., and it's posted here if anybody forgets the times. Moore's Fire Station on Route 11, so if you have any pets that need to be vaccinated, it's a good opportunity to get that done. The other issue, which Mike just mentioned, Larry and I are working on coming up with something to take care of some of the brush issues. However, we don't at this time feel like a pickup is the right answer, but we may be able to like have a day or two during the month where people can bring it to a certain location. We haven't just figured out exactly where in the village, and then we could the town said we could use their chipper.
Yeah, I know.
But they need to have somebody there to do it, so they wouldn't be able to go around and use the chippers. So this would probably be the best of both worlds. If people could bring it to a location, then we could set up a time, maybe every month or 6 weeks or whatever, get the chipper over here, chip it all up, we'd be able to get rid of it a lot easier. And it wouldn't involve, going door to door for the brush. So, I mean, we'd have to have some stipulations, and that's the other thing we work on the size of it. We don't want to end up with a tree or,
Yeah, they can't.
or a junk
The machine's
car or
not big
something.
enough to chip a tree.
And that was the other reason why we wanted to just have a certain day where people could bring it there so we could kind of police it and see what ends up there. Because I know invariably when you say, yeah, just bring brush here, you get a lot of little surprises when you get down there. So.
Do we have room down at the water plant area for this?
Well,
Can we do it down there?
No,
Larry and I talked about the parcel across the Elm Street.
We're gonna-
That would be more visible.
Do it
I was
across-
kind of thinking.
across from the
same
library,
house,
and we can chip it, because we have that big hill right there. We'll chip it and dress that right up, and then, because if we don't, they'll be dumping everything with the kitchen sink down there at the water plant.
Yeah, that's more visible. You get down on the end of the street by where the water plant is,
I don't like having a pile of item down there, to be honest with you.
and it's close to Hunsford. So anyway, we are working on that, and I think we'll be able to come up with something before the end of the summer. I know you had expressed an interest in that, Tom. And you had been working, I think you had talked to the town about the chipper.
Yeah, I worked with Steve Salchuk on that. So in regards to that, I don't know if that
Well, I'll hold
indicates-
off on brush.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's gonna, if we could set that up soon, it would probably save some citations for, hopefully give the people a way to get rid of it.
Hopefully we'll have something worked out by the end of the month.
And hopefully that everybody can find a way to transport it down there.
Well, that's, it's fairly close. You'd be able to, there'd be many more options available to you other than like trucking it to Moore's or,
We can probably pick a date, and put it on the water bill as well. Type on the bottom of the water bill, so we go out the end of the month.
Okay.
I mean, we could have one or
Let's see,
maybe
what's
two days. Just have those days when you can bring it so that, because when you get things can be dumped off anytime, that's when you get this stuff in the dark of night.
And you may get that too.
Yeah.
Would you advertise it in paper?
Oh, we could do that. Yeah, if there's some interest. And one other thing, I guess I'll bring it up under my report, but we did have somebody come forward for the zoning board. He's here tonight. Steve Meyer, is it?
That's correct.
Okay. He said he would be willing to do that, and I'd like to appoint him to the zoning board. So if somebody would like to make a motion to appoint him to the zoning board,
You can't.
I make a motion,
Yeah.
we appoint Steve Myers to the zoning board.
And I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, sorry. What?
Oh, go ahead, I was just walking him board.
Okay.
Seems you need a body, so I'm
Well, it's an
Happy to
important
help.
job. I really think it's important that we have some village representation and, some more, everybody active.
Yeah, it's just not filling the seat. It's, need somebody.
Let's something to be congratulated for. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Steve.
Yeah, congratulations, Steve.
And Greg was starting in with the, you know, people need to be involved. Your community is only as good as the people that get involved and make it a better place, so I'm glad you stepped forward.
I hope to make a contribution.
Thank you.
Coming on at the right time, zoning board's getting a raise.
Well, there you go. Liaison
I'll
got
wait
one.
for my pay.
Yeah.
Okay, now somebody get in touch with you, I don't know, the next meeting, it's probably next
We
month.
just had one.
The second Wednesday of the month is our normal meeting at 5 o'clock, and I'll send you an oath that you have to sign.
Okay.
Or you can bring it back or stop in, and if you're staying for the whole meeting, we can do it at the end.
I think it's worthwhile for me to
Okay.
stay, listen,
Okay,
learn more about your process.
all right, excellent.
Okay, that concludes my report. Trustee Champlain?
Just speaking with Larry regarding the paving. Hopefully that'll be in the not too distant future, working with the county. And really the only other thing I had was that one of the notes that we received in our mail was from Bill and Sue Hoke regarding the sale of their store. And just wanting to thank them for all their years of service in the community and wishing them well and wishing the new owners well.
I think we all mirror that. Thank you, Kim. Trustee Martin?
I'd like to thank the village crew for their street cleaning efforts. Very important, the village looks very nice. Shared services final report is available for review. The next shared services meeting, committee meeting will be on June 23rd, 5:30 here in the village office. And that's all I have except for some things under new business. So, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Trustee Champlain?
Basically, what we already discussed with the chipping work with Steve Southwick from the town. I want to thank him for his time and his contributions to working out a shared service with this chipper. So I think we'll return thanks for providing that.
Yes, Steve talked about the
Crack sealer?
crack sealer.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay. At the next meeting, Mr. Cooper's supposed to have looked at a crack sealer that is available to us within the price range for us. And all three entities, the town and the two villages, have set aside some funding, and we're using some of Senator Little's funds. I don't know if it pertains right now, but I'd like to see some of that funding set aside and buy the materials that we need to make that machine work, rather than having the three entities to come up with some more money.
Well, I think there was $8,000 left in that account, and that was gonna go towards the purchase of the machine, whether we used it all for the purchase of the machine or we buy materials with it. I guess it depends on how much the machine costs. He hasn't given me a quote yet, so.
Good. Well, that'll be another very valuable shared endeavor. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Tom, for the work that you did investigating that brush issue.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other report of the clerk treasurer?
Everyone's been copied with their expense and revenue report for May 31st, 2010, which is also the end of the year. She did very well.
Yes.
It's in pretty good shape.
Thanks, Juanita. Now the presentation of the warrant. Entertain a motion to approve the warrant for the month of, I guess that's June.
Moved.
Second?
Are there any questions? Trustee Trombley,
Aye.
trustee Martin,
Aye.
trustee Trombley,
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. Now the report of the superintendent.
If you all have a copy of my superintendent's report in front of you. We have all the meters done except for one place, which we'll get in eventually. They're all red. I had to borrow a meter gun from the town of Shazy. I'd like to thank them, and also the town of Plattsburgh, because our old meter gun read 2 different types of meters, and these only read 1 of each, so I had to run back to Shazy and get their gun for a second time. Once the meters are all done, I'd like to know what your placement is on the sidewalk in front of the Kintex building. Do we want to pull that up? I know some have mixed issues on it, so pull the curbing up in the sidewalk, or
Well, unless, I don't know, I went and looked at it, the only thing that anybody could probably have an issue with is it's tilted somewhat, but, you know, unless we have a real good reason for pulling it out of there, it still serves the function of the sidewalk. Originally, I was thinking that would be a good idea to pull that out of there, but it would be a lot of extra expense. So I don't know how everyone else feels about it. Like I said, I took a couple walks up there, and you know, it seems like the curb and everything is in fair shape.
there's a couple places that will have to be mended. I know the DIs are gonna have to rip up most of the tops of the DIs.
Will that impact the curbing?
No. Because the backside of the curbing is set against it, and I'll chip around it. But they have blocks, but they have risers on them. And some of the DIs gonna have to take and get in. The culvert right now is way expensive, but if we have to replace it, we have to replace it, so we have to fix underneath before we do anything with the top. So, what I don't use on there, I can use someplace else in the street.
And anybody else have any comment on that?
Well, I'm trying to get back up to speed here. I thought we were thinking to save costs, to eliminate that and put this, you know,
A swale down through there. Yeah. Use that, talked about a grass swale. They tar up, we can do a grass swale there. Do you want to take
and
the
then
curbing?
And then the alternative is if you leave the sidewalk and the curbing, then you'd have to pave up to it?
Yes.
Okay. What's the difference in cost, I guess, is what I would ask.
Well, you're looking at in front of that, you're looking at 2 foot down through. And they have the machine now that will do the crown of the road and also do the swale for the DIs right down through. They have the machine to do that now, so it's a lot less labor intent when they go down through, because they just make it as they go.
So now you're thinking it won't be that expensive to leave it as it is then?
No, my most concern is what's underneath with them DIs, because a lot of them's buckled up, and we may have to rip a bunch of them out and re-cement them. I'm just trying to place the money out, get more done for the dollar.
The sidewalks are still in pretty good shape.
So,
We can save some funding here. I'd like to see it stay. Work around whatever we need to work around.
Yeah, if we're able to
I'd like to get down right in
fix the
front of
DIs.
right in front of the funeral home. We have that sidewalk and that big crown of tar and the big deep DIs.
Yeah.
I want to dig that out of there and swale that route down through. Get rid of that big hump down through there.
Yeah, the other thing we're looking at too is not paving quite as much, like around where the Legion is across the street. Like, it used to be used a lot when there was a ball field. You know, people would park there for games and whatever, but there isn't anywhere near the traffic there is what there used to be. And I think the Legion only has the bingo during the summer, I believe now. So
That'll give us,
that would save us some money there too.
put that into green.
Well, like I say, it used to be used a lot when it was ball field, but now that it's not. Probably save a little bit there. I mean, it would still be like it is now. I mean, we aren't, right, Larry? We're not gonna tear up what's there, right?
No, but I mean,
Well, we
we'll
won't
fix whatever has to be fixed there.
repave that.
But when we pave the road, if we have a swale that's there or something, we'll shim that and smoothen it out, but
And we're not sure right, Larry, if we're gonna do a regrind on that, or.
I will know after Thursday when the
try to
county
fill the
goes
cracks.
through with the bid, he's gonna come up and meet with me, and, because that's a half a mile from where we ended up to the bridge.
Yeah, we'll have to see the cost on that, but the Prospect Street really turned out well, what we did there. I think you have to be careful. I know some of the streets we just top coated, they're developing cracks already. So I don't know, I think we wanna make sure we get our money's worth out of whatever we do.
Yeah, one Prospect too, the water all comes down, it drains off the side because you're going downhill. Over on Elm Street, you have the DIs and you have the grass, so the water sets right there, so it has no place to go. First thing it does is it gets underneath. It's not the water on top, it's the water that gets in the seam.
Well, we're gonna take a good look at it, whatever we need. But what's one thing we found out, or Larry found out, which we didn't know, we gotta seal all the cracks and everything in the old pavement, because when you go over the top of it, if there's a crack, the water will come up from underneath and make the same problem that you had in the first place.
And destroy the top coat.
Yeah.
But if we do the reclamation, we don't need to do that.
No,
Right.
Yeah, so I think a lot hinges on whether the county's gonna have that, or the town's gonna have the county come in with that machine. If it does, it becomes a lot more economical for us.
it wasn't economical for us to have it come from Albany up here and have to
Right.
pay. But if the county gets it up here,
Yeah, and if they can get it, I think it's worth it to redo the road, because Prospect Street is holding up really nice, and the first section of that road was done, probably 10 years ago.
And the middle section too was awful.
Yeah, that's held up well so far.
but that's what I'm gonna work on, getting that done. And we'll probably shim up some MDIs and start, take the sewer jet out and see what kind of flow I have down through there.
Well, they'll be able to crown that a little bit too.
Yeah, they can
so
put
will
a
go
2%
size.
or 3% so it stays off the road.
And that's a big thing. Any questions for Larry?
It's nice to plan on jumping on the lawns tomorrow if it don't rain, so.
Nope.
Okay, Juanita, could you read correspondence?
Correspondence from Alan Paquette regarding Murray McKinnon sewer line. Correspondence from Michael Oliver regarding his trailer at 36 Moore Street. Correspondence from Michael Paquette regarding annexing into his property on Main Street into the village. Memo from Ron Hicks regarding his property at the end of Meadow Lane. Statements from Mayor Moore and Superintendent Sorrell regarding trailer on 36 Moore Street property. Statement from Superintendent Sorrell regarding Marie McKinnon's sewer problem. Correspondence from Trident Insurance regarding Michael Oliver's property at 36 Moore Street. Notice of violation to Alves Development of America regarding property maintenance issue. Correspondence from Clinton County Department of Payroll, Department of Personnel regarding 2010 payroll certification. Correspondence from Trident Insurance regarding hydrant damage. And various notice of violation forms.
Okay, thank you, Juanita. Now move on to old business. Is there anything new with the GSA meter, Larry?
No, I got a hold of the health department because if they decide to make that, or we decide to make it into a district, we have to get approval from them before we put a pit in there, and it's gonna have to find out what size meters we're gonna have to put in. 6-inch may be all right, but depending on what they have for customers up there, they may require an 8-inch. But we can't put anything in the ground up here till we get a draft and send it to the health department.
You know, I think it's a good idea at this point to wait and see what might develop up there, right, Vicki? And
And we're still working on that.
so, we don't want to put the wrong thing in.
I don't wanna buy it, spend a lot of money
That would
and
not
have to
make
tear it out.
sense. So, okay. And the other thing is a GPS system. I think we need to get a final answer on this. I'm thinking that we abandon this, but I'd entertain a motion to do something about that issue.
I'll make a motion that we hold or take the materials, GPS materials out of our vehicles and package them, send them back to Jet Track GPS systems with a thank you, but not at this time, and sever our relationship with this organization.
Okay, you have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? I think we discussed it.
Yeah, I think we discussed it. I watched the board meeting last month and it was discussed. I think the most important factor here is, I think you all agree that we don't want to put them in the new vehicles.
Yeah, we do have some issues, yeah. Okay, all in favor of abandoning the present GPS system, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion is carried. Does anyone else have any other old business? If not, we'll proceed to new business.
I'd like to make a motion that the village stop issuing sewer credits for these overages. It seems like every month we are getting, I guess I can't talk first, I'll have a second.
Okay,
That's true.
so your motion is,
I'd like to see the village stop as of June 1st, 2010, stop issuing sewer credits for our water bills.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, and I'll second that motion.
Second, okay, discussion?
It seems like we're getting an awful lot of these requests for sewer credits from people that should be maintaining their facilities. And the last one that we got was from a organization where there are multiple employees, and this leakage went on for a long time. And I think it's a detriment to the village taxpayers to have to pay for treating the water, keeping our system up, and then having us turn around and issue credits on something that people should be taking care of on their own. I know I've supported these in the past, and but I really think that the village needs to get away with this, or get away from issuing these credits.
I'd like to add to that, Greg, because I've supported them in the past too, but I think initially, it's our bad here. Initially, they were intended to reduce the sewer bill because they were for leaks such as a garden hose that got left on it, or broken or something like that, so that the water never went into the wastewater system, So it's like, well, if it wasn't there, we shouldn't charge you for the wastewater. And unfortunately, what's happened is it's become my toilet was leaking and my bill was high and I didn't fix the toilet, so I think we need to do that. I completely support that because it is costing all of the village taxpayers money to continue doing that. We need to maintain our properties, or equipment, I should say.
I mean, the water goes through the meter, and we have to pay, the whole village has to pay to have it treated and to maintain the whole system. And, I'm not trying to be a hard case here, but I really see it as a detriment to the village overall.
I think I just echo what Tom said. I mean, if you have a leaky toilet, it's going down the wastewater system anyway, and
But now they're treating the water,
we have to
but also
treat it.
wastewater.
So it wasn't like you said, it went in the backyard, or somebody filled a swimming pool or something. It's
Right, that was another example of why we started doing it, for filling pools. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And so I agree, it's kind of expensive.
Every month.
Well, if there's no further discussion, I guess we can proceed to vote on Craig's motion to stop doing sewer credits.
Is that not including pool credits? If it doesn't go in the sewer system, you're still allowing it, as far as the filling up their pool?
What have we done in the past with that?
We give them they'll tell us what they've used, and then we give them a credit for that amount on the sewer portion.
Didn't the fire department used to do that?
That was before my time.
Yeah, they used to do it. The thing is, if they fill the pool, if it's 5,000 gallons or less, they don't get sewer credit.
Right, it's gotta be at the minimum of
So, and
5,000 gallons.
I think if somebody's filling their pool, they should let us know, and we should go take a meter read and then we can adjust it from there.
Okay, we'll go along with it.
So does that need to be
Yeah,
addressed in the motion or just held separately?
well, yeah, I think maybe we should add that in there, so that it's in there first. But the board can still make exceptions for things that we can verify didn't go down the wastewater system. Right?
Mhm.
Such as the resident filling the pool. I know that's how this all started.
Well, if they want to fill the pools, I think they should have to notify us, so that we can
Right.
take them in.
Okay, Tom, do you want to withdraw your second, so we
Yeah.
can make a new motion?
Yes, I will. I'll withdraw the second and revise.
I'd like to see the village, make a motion that the village stop issuing sewer credits as of June 1st, 2010, so that, with the exception of filling up the pools with prior acknowledgement to the village superintendent to take a water meter reading. Does that cover it, Don? Did I forget something?
Yes, except for the fact, I'm not sure how many we've had for our next billing cycle. I've already got people that have called and told me that they filled their pool for the July 1st billing. And we have no way to verify anything at this point because it's already been done, so
Yeah, but
you want to start, I mean, it takes effect other than what I've already got in my book.
I don't believe we can make it take effect before tonight.
No.
So,
Okay.
I
How
we'll be
about,
going
Take
forward.
I would-
effect as of
I
tonight.
would word that as of the last meter reading. The billing for this month,
Because they just took the meter.
because we just read the meters just got done today, so.
Well, if you make it for today then, if the
Okay.
readings are done,
Yeah,
make it for
I
today.
think, I don't think we can post-date something.
No, make it for today.
as of June 14th?
Okay, is there any further discussion?
I need to second that motion.
Oh,
I'll second Greg's motion, and yes, I would like to add something to discussion. I hate to drag this out, but in the next billing, can you please put a note in there to notify everyone with the water bill that what we're doing, there will be no sewer adjustments for water leakages. The only,
Yeah, we only have 2 lines, there won't be enough room to write all that. The only other thing, if you
I
want to
guess
send
we
it out first class, or we'll put it in the paper as a legal notice and a news item,
Why can't we just get a
and it's
hold
on our
of,
website.
get a hold of Channel 5, they have the community thing, it's free. Everybody watches the news.
I don't, but that's okay.
okay.
I think we'll
I
cover our
think if
bases
you
like
got
we
it
would
out there, I
normally
can't
with
see
any
spending
other
money on
announcement.
stamps.
well, we could put a short blurb saying the village has suspended water credits, or sewer credits,
And
as
and
of this date, and,
if we could add something in regards to pool filling, village must be
Yeah.
contacted prior or
We could
something.
just put,
yeah, I think we could do
contact
something short enough.
Yeah.
And then we
before
can do an
filling
announcement.
pools.
Yeah, exactly, Don. We could do something with an announcement.
Put it on the website.
Yeah, we can put it on the
You always put it
website.
in the
Sounded
news of
good.
interest too,
Okay.
say that there's no charge for that.
Okay, that's all.
Okay, is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. There was a second item under new business, installing the water meter at the fire station.
I make a motion that, did you miss me on this one? I make a motion that we as a board put a water meter in the fire station so that we can determine how much water is being used. We have our shared services report, but can't discuss this. Make a motion that we put a water meter in the firehouse
So we can determine the water use.
to determine water usage. Yes, thank you.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Now we can discuss.
Now we can discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it's.
In the shared services report, we are losing, from what we're billing and what we're pumping and treating, somewhere in the vicinity of about 50,000 gallons. And I think we need to get a better idea of where this water is going.
Yeah, it's for accountability.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
accountability.
We are producing twice as much water as what we're billing.
And some of that could be the meter.
The Department of Health wants to know, do you have major leaks? What's going on? It's not, this is not anything to do with billing or anything like that. It's just so that we can identify where. And I suspect it's not one source that where the water's going. It's probably several sources. But we need to identify them, and I think we're working towards that.
And this is one area where we provide water and we don't have accountability as to how much we're providing. That's all we're trying to do.
That's exactly.
Just accountability.
Actuality is a requirement to the health department that they have one.
Oh, really? That, I
Correct.
don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a moot point.
Alrighty, well, okay, well, if there's no further discussion, then, all in favor of Greg's motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. Greg, do you want to do that NYSERDA?
Yep. I make a motion that we have the NYSERDA energy audit completed here in the village for the sum of $400. We qualify for this audit as a small energy user.
Okay, second?
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I agree with that 100%. We've done some serious savings here in energy, and I think there's more to be had. It's one of the ways us small communities can save a little bit of the taxpayer dollars, and I know we've done a great job in the past, and these guys can probably help us get up the next rung of the ladder.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable cost.
Donna was able to get us a handbook from NYSERDA, Water and Wastewater Energy Management. I'll leave this with you. It lists some steps and some ideas that they're going to be looking for in how they do their energy audit. And I think there are plenty of places down at the wastewater plant where we can save some energy. I mean, we've cut it down quite a bit now. The savings, electric savings and things like that has been reduced greatly. And if we can get this audit done and give us a better idea, or another idea, I guess, of how we can save some up.
Okay. Being no further discussion, Trustee Champlain.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Champlain. Mayor Moore, aye. I think we have just one other item in the new business.
Here we go. I'd like to make a motion to allow for a direct connection for village water and wastewater to the property of Michael Duquette and Kathleen Duquette, so that construction can start and we can hook them up directly as they proceed with construction of their new home.
Water and wastewater.
Water and wastewater.
Okay. All right, wait a second. Any discussion?
And then we can issue the permits.
I was looking for.
Yeah, I just need a copy of this.
Okay, there being no further discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Same.
Motion is carried. Does anyone else have any other new business? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, all in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.